You won't believe how these world-famous stars transform their faces, and not for the better. From botched fillers to shocking surgical regrets, these celebrities paid the ultimate price chasing perfection. What happened to their once iconic looks? Get ready, because some of these transformations are downright unrecognizable. Michael Jackson. From the earliest days of his ascension, Michael Jackson's magnetic talent captivated audiences globally. Yet, as his musical prowess scaled unprecedented heights, his physical appearance began to shift with remarkable intensity. The once familiar visage of the youthful star, characterized by an afro and a radiant smile, slowly gave way to an almost entirely distinct individual. Over the years, his nasal structure was refined, his complexion underwent significant changes, and a pronounced dimple emerged on his chin, reportedly facilitated by implants. Medical professionals and admirers alike pondered the possibility of cheek enhancements, jawline sculpting, and skin tone modification treatments. By the dawn of the new millennium, his previously vibrant countenance appeared delicate, almost mask-like, resembling an artistic figure. This metamorphosis wasn't merely superficial, it hinted at a deeper narrative. Was it the weight of immense fame? A relentless pursuit of an idealized appearance? Or perhaps a struggle with profound personal vulnerabilities? Michael once stated that he had only undergone nasal surgery, attributing it to improved breathing for vocal performance. Yet his public image suggested a more extensive series of interventions. The quest for physical transformation seemed to echo within his family, as his sister, La Toya Jackson, also embraced multiple cosmetic procedures, leading to similar public discourse. This pattern raises intriguing questions about the underlying influences, be it inherited traits, the pressures of celebrity, or something more profound that fueled this generational drive for facial alteration within the Jackson family. Janice Dickinson. Janice Dickinson once reigned supreme on the global runways, a formidable and audacious presence who commanded the fashion world throughout the 1970s and 80s. Her signature jet black hair, bold crimson lips, and distinctive smirk graced the covers of Vogue an astounding 37 times, surpassing even luminaries like Lauren Hutton. She wasn't simply modeling, she redefined the very essence of a supermodel, long before the term entered common lexicon. However, the spotlight of celebrity often carries an inherent temporal demand, and as time progressed, Dickinson found herself striving to perpetuate the appearance of perpetual youth. Driven by a resolve to preserve her glamorous image, she embraced a spectrum of cosmetic procedures, including breast enhancements, facial lifts, abdominal contouring, and lip augmentation. "I've undergone more procedures than I can enumerate," she candidly revealed in a widely reported celebrity interview, a statement that became nearly as iconic as her runway presence. Her facial evolution became a frequent subject of Hollywood gossip, particularly during her stints on reality television programs like I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and Celebrity Big Brother. Viewers were frequently struck by the significant differences in her appearance. Even medical experts on the television program Botched characterized her case as one of their most challenging, underscoring the lengths to which her pursuit of youth had taken her. Yet, in an unexpected turn, Janice re-emerged years later exhibiting a noticeably softer, more natural appearance, generating renewed attention at a Fendi event in West Hollywood. This shift followed a 2016 diagnosis of breast cancer, an experience she credits with fundamentally reshaping her self-perception. "Authentic beauty emanates from inner resilience," she shared. For an individual who once occupied the epicenter of countless Hollywood scandals, it is arguably her most subdued moment that resonates with the deepest significance. Before we dive in, let us know, where are you watching from? Drop your country in the comments below. Thanks for your support. Jocelyn Wildenstein. In the chronicles of extreme cosmetic enhancements, Jocelyn Wildenstein stands as an almost mythical figure, her name virtually synonymous with radical alterations. Once a prominent figure in New York's elite social circles, renowned for her lavish existence, Jocelyn's presence in headlines shifted from fashion events to her remarkably changed facial features, which seemed to converge towards an uncanny feline resemblance. This outcome was no mere coincidence. Reports suggest that millions of dollars were reportedly invested in cosmetic enhancements aimed at achieving a feline aesthetic, a pursuit allegedly driven by a desire to maintain the affections of her billionaire spouse, Alec Wildenstein, who harbored a passion for exotic wildlife. Her eyes were angled to suggest a predatory gaze, her facial contours reshaped, her lips augmented, and her visage consistently refined and resculpted. Despite this extensive transformation and the substantial fortune expended, the marital bond ultimately dissolved in a very public and tumultuous separation. The media quickly dubbed her the Bride of Wildenstein, transforming her into a subject of tabloid fascination. What began as an attempt to secure affection ultimately evolved into an enduring symbol of fixation, rejection, and dramatic self-redefinition. Donatella Versace. Donatella Versace, often portrayed as the Ice Queen of the fashion realm, is as renowned for her incisive style as she is for her significantly evolving facial features. Following the profound tragedy of her brother Gianni Versace's passing in 1997, Donatella was thrust into an uncompromising public glare as the creative director of the Versace empire. Over the ensuing years, her physical transformation became as widely discussed as her captivating runway presentations. Her once classic Italian features, characterized by softness, expressiveness, and strength, gradually yielded to augmented lips, firmer skin, and an appearance that seemed suspended in time. Her aesthetic transitioned from elegant glamour to a more pronounced form. Voluminous lips, refined cheekbones, and skin tautness that frequently led to discussions about extensive injectable treatments. In an industry intensely preoccupied with youth, Donatella appeared to embody the formidable pressures that the fashion world places on women, particularly those at its pinnacle. Critics sometimes viewed her as a cautionary example, while others lauded her fearless approach. Joan Van Ark. Joan Van Ark once epitomized grace and poise, a beloved soap opera star who illuminated screens in Dallas and Knots Landing with her innate charm and expressive qualities. Today, however, her visage narrates a distinct tale, one of intense focus, external pressure, and irreversible alterations. Previously recognized for her delicate features and classic allure, Joan's appearance has been profoundly reshaped by a series of assertive cosmetic procedures. Both medical experts and observers suggest she has undergone numerous facial lifts, nasal contouring revisions, and continuous dermal filler injections. The outcomes: a face tautened beyond natural expression, and a nasal structure so refined and angular that it bears little resemblance to the one fans once admired. What was likely intended as a strategy to maintain her youthful presence instead diminished the very attributes that made her iconic. The warmth, the relatability, the inherent beauty, all seem to have been supplanted by an appearance many describe as fixed, even disquieting. Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke, once the quintessential Hollywood rebel and an iconic romantic lead of the 1980s, is now significantly transformed following a long and challenging struggle with his own appearance. Rourke's decision to undergo cosmetic procedures was not driven by superficial vanity. After stepping away from a highly successful acting career to pursue professional boxing, his face endured considerable physical impact, literally. Bone fractures, cheekbone damage, and cartilage injuries left his once sculpted features in a complex medical state. In an effort to repair the damage and restore his look, he underwent multiple reconstructive surgeries. However, the outcomes were, at best, inconsistent. With each subsequent attempt to correct the initial results, his features appeared to become more irregular. By the 2000s, his defined jawline and intense gaze had been replaced by a fuller, almost artificial-looking appearance that left his admirers astonished. The profound aspect of his story lies not just in the consequences of the surgeries, but in the forces, fame, and inner struggles that propelled him towards them. Mickey candidly noted that many of his interventions were performed by a less than optimal practitioner, adding a layer of regret that continues to resonate with his public narrative. Amanda Lepore. Amanda Lepore's evolution stands as one of the most extreme and memorable in the domain of celebrity cosmetic alterations. A recognized transgender icon, Amanda achieved acclaim not only for her audacious fashion and nightlife presence, but for transforming her entire physical form into a deliberate work of art. Her declared objective was to embody the essence of a living doll. Through a multitude of procedures including lip augmentations, breast enhancements, multiple nasal surgeries, and even a hairline lowering, she deliberately pushed the boundaries of cosmetic modification. Yet, beneath the shimmering exterior lies a more profound, almost poignant narrative. Amanda once revealed that her journey with cosmetic procedures began in her teenage years, long before fame entered her life, stating that it offered her a sense of agency over her body in a world where she felt disempowered. Over time, this pursuit of an ideal aesthetic became a way of life, approaching an obsessive drive. A less widely known fact, in the early 2000s, she reportedly insured her body for over $1 million, underscoring the extent to which she perceived herself as both a personal brand and an evolving piece of living sculpture. Pete Burns. Pete Burns, the lead vocalist of Dead or Alive, was celebrated not merely for his hit song You Spin Me Round, but also as one of the most striking and unconventional figures in 1980s pop culture. His bold, androgynous style defied norms and captivated attention, yet over time the image he meticulously crafted began to consume him. Burns became increasingly open about his cosmetic procedures, undergoing numerous interventions including lip augmentations, nasal refinements, and cheek implants. A severe adverse reaction to a lip filler resulted in multiple reconstructive operations, which significantly impacted both his well-being and financial stability. He later confessed to losing count of his procedures, likening it to maintaining a vehicle. It's like a car, you fix it up to keep it running. While many critiqued his changing appearance, Pete steadfastly defended his choices, asserting that they were about self-expression rather than mere vanity. Lil' Kim. Once hailed as the fierce and captivating queen bee of hip-hop, Lil' Kim's physical evolution has astonished both fans and critics. The groundbreaking rapper who courageously challenged conventions with her audacious lyrics and unapologetic confidence now appears notably different from her iconic 1990s image. Over the years, Kim has embraced a range of significant cosmetic procedures, including skin tone adjustments, multiple nasal refinements, cheek augmentations, and breast enhancements, fundamentally reshaping her entire face. Yet, beneath these visible changes lies a more profound narrative of personal struggle. Critics have suggested her transformation reflects an eating to speculation about pressures to conform to mainstream beauty standards, pointing to the considerable lightening of her skin and the adaptation of her facial features towards a more European aesthetic. Kim, however, has alluded to the emotional burdens that underpin these changes, speaking in interviews about years of mistreatment, prejudice based on skin tone, and the unrelenting pressure to conform to industry standards that often privilege Eurocentric beauty. Her once distinctive appearance has now become a complex subject in celebrity culture. Lil' Kim's story transcends mere vanity. It serves as a powerful illustration of how renown, personal adversity, and societal expectations can intertwine with deeply resonant consequences. Was Lil' Kim's radical reinvention a personal triumph or a profound loss of self? Cast your vote. Comment 1 for loss, 0 for fearless queen. Priscilla Presley. Priscilla Presley, once the captivating muse of rock and roll royalty, Elvis Presley, was celebrated for her timeless elegance and Hollywood composure. However, behind the public glamour, her pursuit of physical ideals led to a deeply regrettable experience. In the early 2000s, Priscilla underwent cosmetic injections, only to later discover that the treatment had been administered by an unlicensed practitioner using industrial-grade silicone rather than medical-grade filler. The consequences were profound. Her formerly elegant features were left inconsistent, marked by firm masses and uneven textures. The individual responsible, subsequently exposed as a con artist from Argentina, had reportedly injected numerous public figures with similar unregulated substances before his deportation. Priscilla's visage, forever changed, became a sobering illustration of the potential risks when the desire for enhancement leads to misguided trust and irreversible outcomes. Farrah Abraham. Farrah Abraham achieved prominence on Teen Mom, where her candid demeanor and challenging journey into motherhood made her one of the program's most discussed personalities. As the years advanced, however, it was neither her parenting nor her personal controversies that maintained her presence in the public eye, but her facial changes. Once recognized for her youthful appeal, Farrah has undergone a substantial sequence of procedures: multiple nasal refinements, a chin implant, cheek and lip augmentations, and even eyelid surgery to reshape her eyes into a more almond configuration. The transformation is profound. The once recognizable reality television figure now bears little resemblance to the young woman who initially appeared on screen. Critics argue she is pursuing an artificial ideal, one that has blurred the boundaries between personal expression and a potentially detrimental quest for alteration. Each subsequent procedure appears to distance her further from the image that initially resonated with her audience. Courtney Love. Courtney Love, the grunge queen, rock icon's widow, and Hollywood unconventional spirit, has consistently been an individual who defies easy categorization. Her evolving facial appearance has generated as much attention as her music and public controversies. The former lead vocalist of Hole and the widow of Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain once openly acknowledged undergoing nasal surgery early in her career. Yet, as the years progressed, her ongoing transformation became increasingly evident. Speculation regarding lip augmentations, injectable treatments, and other cosmetic refinements has followed her for decades, with each new public appearance prompting renewed observation and discussion. Her once edgy, raw authenticity has gradually yielded to a more refined, at times less expressive appearance, often critiqued for lacking the rebellious spirit she previously embodied. Love herself has spoken candidly about the intense pressure to maintain a youthful and relevant image in an industry that often appears to diminish women as they age. Daryl Hannah. Daryl Hannah, once the radiant actress who first captured hearts as a literal mermaid in Splash, enchanted audiences with her ethereal beauty and memorable roles in films such as Roxanne, Steel Magnolias, and Quentin Tarantino's visceral Kill Bill. She was not merely another face in Hollywood, she was a compelling presence both on-screen and off. Yet, at some point along her trajectory, the natural beauty who famously declined to have a chipped tooth, corrected at the behest of Hollywood executives, became almost unrecognizable. Her face, once noted for its delicate softness, now prompts ongoing speculation. While Hannah maintains that she avoids cosmetic surgery unless medically essential, once referring to herself as a coward regarding surgical interventions, many believe the changes in her appearance tell a different story. There is a certain irony in this situation. The same actress who physically protested to preserve a community farm now finds herself the subject of discussions regarding a potential sacrifice of her iconic looks in the pursuit of youth. Her features appear fixed, her expressions less fluid, leading fans to ponder if the demands of staying relevant in a demanding industry resulted in more alterations than she publicly acknowledges. Jennifer Grey. Jennifer Grey rapidly became a beloved figure after her role as Baby in Dirty Dancing, 1987. With her distinct curly hair and unmistakable nasal contour, she possessed a look that was unique, genuine, and refreshing. However, Hollywood's pursuit of an ideal aesthetic eventually influenced her choices. In a decision that would significantly impact her career, Grey underwent a minor nasal refinement, to maintain a youthful and competitive edge in the industry. What was intended as a subtle adjustment resulted in a complete transformation. The outcome? She became nearly unrecognizable, even to paparazzi who once avidly followed her. A second surgery was performed due to cartilage complexities, but it reportedly exacerbated the situation. Instead of being celebrated for her acting talent, Jennifer became a notable example of cosmetic procedure regret. Previously recognized for her charm and authenticity, Gray found it challenging to secure acting roles. The discussion surrounding her performances took a secondary position to inquiries about her facial changes. She once humorously remarked, "I went into the operating room of a celebrity and came out anonymous." Beneath the humor lay a profound sense of disillusionment. The very feature that had helped define her public image had altered, and with it, her career momentum. Despite a resurgence in popularity after her victory on Dancing with the Stars in 2010, Gray's narrative remains one of Hollywood's most striking reminders. Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers was more than just a comedic icon. She was a formidable presence, cutting through Hollywood's male-dominated landscape with sharp wit and audacious charm. Yet, as relentless as her jokes were, so too was her engagement with cosmetic procedures. She didn't merely undergo one or two interventions. Joan embraced a comprehensive approach, including facial lifts, neck refinements, eyelid surgeries, injectable treatments, and fillers. She explored a wide spectrum. And rather than concealing it, she integrated it into her public persona. She often joked about undergoing cosmetic enhancements, as if it were a routine part of her life, preempting critics with her candidness. Over time, her famously animated expressions transitioned into something strikingly still. The incisive wit remained, but the once lively face behind it appeared more fixed, seemingly frozen in the relentless quest for enduring youth. She later acknowledged that not every procedure had yielded the desired outcome, admitting some were simply misjudgments. Tara Reid. Tara Reid, once the vivacious blonde who captivated audiences in American Pie, is now more widely known for a narrative often cited in Hollywood's discussions about challenging cosmetic procedures. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Tara embodied the quintessential girl next door, radiating an easy charm and effortless beauty. However, her path changed when she decided to undergo cosmetic surgery. In her early 20s, Tara had liposuction and breast enhancements, common procedures in the entertainment industry, but in her instance, the outcome was problematic. The liposuction resulted in irregularities and indentations on her abdomen, and her breast augmentation led to noticeable scarring and asymmetry. Rather than enhancing her public image, the problematic procedures seemed to prematurely age her and alter her figure in unexpected ways. The public response was considerable. Acting opportunities reportedly diminished, public appearances became subjects of intense tabloid scrutiny, and instead of headlines celebrating her performances, the focus shifted to what happened to her face. Or Tara Reid's cosmetic procedure challenges. Her Hollywood prominence faded rapidly and visibly. Yet a crucial aspect often overlooked is that Tara did not remain silent. She openly discussed the unsuccessful procedures in the early 2000s, even revealing her scars during a notable public event. In 2006, she underwent corrective surgery and later appeared on the Dr. Oz show, candidly cautioning young women about the potential complexities of pursuing an idealized appearance. Her honesty may have impacted her career, but it positioned her as one of the few public figures courageous enough to illustrate the realities when cosmetic aspirations encounter difficulties. Goldie Hawn. Goldie Hawn was once the radiant embodiment of Hollywood's classic era, her bright smile, distinctive laughter, and approachable charm establishing her as an enduring icon. Today, however, it is not solely her acting prowess that draws attention, but her facial features. Following her public appearance at the 2014 Oscars, observers were notably impacted. The Goldie they recalled, soft, expressive, full of warmth, seemed to have transformed. In her place was an appearance marked by fuller cheeks, unusually smooth skin, and a less fluid expression that didn't quite align with her effervescent personality. Medical professionals who had not treated her still speculated about various enhancements: injectable treatments, fillers, eye lifts, cheek lifts, and jawline sculpting. It appeared to be a comprehensive range of Hollywood cosmetic interventions. By 2017, upon her return to the screen in Snatched, the alterations were distinctly noticeable. Her smile did not convey the same natural movement, and her expressions, once effortlessly animated, appeared more rigid, akin to a mask over the Goldie everyone cherished. In her efforts to maintain a youthful appearance, she subtly changed the face that had made her famous. It serves as a poignant illustration of what can occur when the pursuit of enduring beauty progresses extensively. Do you view Goldie Hawn's transformation as an iconic enhancement or an irreversible misstep? Vote yes for a perceived cosmetic challenge. No if you commend her liberty to transform. Cast your verdict below. Anjelica Huston. Born into a distinguished Hollywood lineage, Anjelica Huston seemed destined for cinematic prominence. The daughter of acclaimed director John Huston and former ballerina model Enrica Soma, her path to stardom was clearly defined. With striking facial contours and a captivating screen presence, she enthralled audiences in the 1980s, earning an Academy Award for Prezi's honor and permanently captivating popular culture as the memorable Morticia Addams. However, the Anjelica we observe today presents a considerable difference from the Gothic icon who once graced the silver screen. Her face, once characterized by regal lines and enduring sophistication, now appears remarkably taut, her features noticeably refined. Although she has not publicly confirmed undergoing cosmetic procedures, the transformation is difficult to overlook. Admirers have speculated about various interventions, from facial lifts to fillers, and many express a sense of loss for her previously iconic look. Meg Ryan. She was once hailed as America's Golden Girl, the charming, relatable star of Sleepless in Seattle and When Harry Met Sally. With her infectious smile and approachable demeanor, Meg Ryan dominated the romantic comedy genre for over a decade. Her status was so iconic that she nearly secured the lead role in Pretty Woman, an opportunity that could have elevated her even further. However, exhausted by the demands of fame and wary of Hollywood's intense scrutiny, she quietly withdrew from the public eye. For years, she remained an enigmatic figure until her unexpected reappearance at the 2016 Tony Awards. What fans witnessed notably impacted them. The familiar softness of her face had seemingly altered. In its place, skin appearing excessively taut, lips that seemed unnaturally full, and a certain fullness that suggested potential overuse of injectable treatments. Although Meg has denied surgical interventions, medical professionals and observers alike suspect a combination of facial lifts, eye refinements, and lip augmentations. Her return at the 2019 Paris Fashion Week reignited the public discussion. What transpired with the individual who once exemplified effortless beauty? For many, Meg Ryan's transformation serves as a poignant illustration of Hollywood's demanding standards, where natural aging can be perceived as a drawback, and the pursuit of youth often culminates in enduring alterations. Simon Cowell. He established his reputation by critiquing aspiring pop stars with a singular, sharp gaze. But today, it is Simon Cowell's facial appearance that causes viewers to take a second look. Once known for his rugged appeal and distinctive smirk, the candid American Idol judge has found himself at the center of a different kind of public examination. In his effort to defy the passage of time, Simon extensively engaged in cosmetic enhancements, including injectable treatments, dermal fillers, and rumored facial lifts. However, instead of a youthful radiance, the outcome was notably distinct. His face appeared unusually smooth, overly full, and nearly unrecognizable. Fans expressed considerable surprise. The individual renowned for his authenticity suddenly presented an artificial appearance. To his credit, Simon acknowledged this himself. Admitting he had proceeded excessively, he took the uncommon step of reversing many of the procedures, dissolving the fillers and embracing a more natural look. Yet, the prior alterations had left a lasting impression. For a period, Simon Cowell became a notable example of cosmetic procedures yielding unintended outcomes. Lara Flynn Boyle. Once heralded as one of Hollywood's most captivating beauties, Lara Flynn Boyle possessed remarkable attributes: sharply defined cheekbones, piercing eyes, and a compelling presence that captivated audiences in Twin Peaks and The Practice. Yet, somewhere along her career trajectory, her ascent transformed into a cautionary narrative. In a determined effort to navigate the perceived temporal demands of fame, Lara began to modify her facial features. What commenced as subtle injectable treatments and fillers gradually evolved into a more pronounced transformation. Facial lifts followed. Her once distinctive features, those that had made her stand out, began to coalesce into something almost unrecognizable. As the procedures accumulated, so too did public observation. Her face appeared firmer, fuller, and less expressive, seemingly diminishing not only her natural beauty but also the very essence of her on-screen magnetism. The Lara Flynn Boyle who once enchanted millions now draws attention for entirely different reasons, and not the kind she initially sought. Her story transcends discussions of excessive cosmetic procedures. It delves into themes of identity, external pressures, and the considerable cost of pursuing youth in an industry that often appears to prioritize youth over natural aging. Ultimately, Lara not only modified her appearance, she seemingly altered the enigmatic charm that once made her unforgettable. Courteney Cox. She defined the aesthetic of the 1990s. Courteney Cox, the intense yet endearing Monica Geller, who charmed audiences globally and became a television icon. Her beauty was classic, her comedic timing impeccable, and her career trajectory seemingly unstoppable. From Friends to Scream to Cougar Town, Courteney appeared to age with grace until she reportedly sought to halt the aging process altogether. As Hollywood's intense focus on youth intensified, so did the pressure on Courteney. In an effort to retain her youthful radiance, she turned to fillers, injectable treatments, and cosmetic refinements that progressively and then noticeably altered her facial features. Her features became more defined, her cheeks overly full, and her expressions appeared unsettlingly fixed. Admirers expressed considerable surprise. The natural charm that once illuminated the screen had been replaced by an appearance that felt forced and unfamiliar, even to Courteney herself. "I didn't realize I was looking really strange," she later admitted in a remarkably candid interview. It was a rare moment of vulnerability that illuminated the personal cost of attempting to conform to Hollywood's often challenging standards. Eventually, Courteney made a courageous choice. She had her fillers reversed. She decided to embrace her natural facial appearance and, in doing so, her sense of self. Linda Evangelista. Once the epitome of 1990s high fashion, Linda Evangelista was an unassailable figure. Her defined features and iconic presence established her as a supermodel legend. However, in a surprising turn of events, a routine cosmetic procedure significantly impacted her image and her confidence. In an effort to maintain her physical form, Linda underwent cool sculpting, a non-invasive fat reduction treatment. Instead of achieving body contouring, it triggered a rare condition known as paradoxical adipose hyperplasia, PAH, causing the treated areas to enlarge and harden. The outcome left her physically altered and emotionally affected. Linda withdrew from public life for several years, navigating feelings of shame and personal distress. When she eventually came forward, her honesty revealed the less visible aspects of cosmetic procedures marketed as safe. Her story serves as a poignant reminder. Even widely trusted beauty solutions can carry unforeseen complexities. And in the pursuit of an ideal aesthetic, the consequences can be enduring. Cher. Few stars have undergone as many reinventions as Cher, a musical legend, style icon, and master of transformation. From the 1960s to the present day, her facial appearance became as iconic as her vocal artistry. Yet, over time, that appearance began to evolve dramatically. Cher has openly acknowledged multiple procedures, nasal refinements, facial lifts, and more. Each adjustment further shaped her image away from a natural look and closer to a refined, seemingly ageless presentation. Admirers observed her evolution, and public commentary was not always favorable. But Cher never expressed regret. For her, cosmetic procedures were not about denial, but about empowerment, a means to control her public image in an industry preoccupied with youth. And while some suggest her choices were extensive, she has consistently conveyed one message: she answers to no one. Her appearance may have changed, but her message has remained consistent. Beauty may evolve, but presence endures indefinitely. Robin Williams. The comedic virtuoso and acting genius Robin Williams brought immeasurable happiness to countless individuals. Yet beneath his joyous exterior, he waged a private and relentless war against alcohol and drug dependency. Throughout the formative years of his career in the 1970s and 1980s, he grappled significantly with substance use. A pivotal turning point arrived with the tragic death of his close friend, John Belushi, in 1982, which spurred Williams to embrace sobriety. He maintained this remarkable abstinence for 2 decades, a testament to his profound inner strength. However, in 2003, he experienced a devastating relapse, plunging him back into a spiral of suffering. His final years were shadowed by severe depression and Lewy body dementia, a debilitating neurological condition that gravely exacerbated his mental state. He tragically died by suicide at 63. Robin Williams' story offers a heartbreaking illustration of the intricate interplay between mental illness and addiction, reminding us that even those who illuminate the lives of others may be fighting their own profound darkness. Dean Martin. Dean Martin, a pivotal member of the legendary Rat Pack, cultivated an onstage and on-screen persona as a charming party animal, frequently appearing delightfully inebriated. Yet, behind this carefully constructed facade lay an intriguing truth. His onstage drunkenness was often a deliberate performance. Martin famously swapped whiskey for apple juice during his performances, a shrewd tactic to remain composed and in command of his shows while maintaining the charming drunk image his admirers cherished. While he certainly had drinking habits, this anecdote illuminates a more nuanced aspect of how he expertly managed his public image and career. He skillfully separated his inebriated stage persona from his private life, though his personal journey was not without its own set of challenges. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford, the Academy Award-winning actress and a quintessential Hollywood icon, harbored a grim secret beneath her glamorous facade. She was a heavy alcoholic, so much so that she frequently concealed liquor bottles throughout her residence to drink undetected. Yet, the greatest tragedy extended beyond her self-destruction. According to the harrowing testimony of her adopted daughter, Christina Crawford, in the memoir Mommy Dearest, Joan Crawford often turned violent and inflicted abuse upon her children while intoxicated. Her life was not merely a private struggle with alcohol, but a series of cruel actions that deeply scarred her closest loved ones. Details of Crawford's cruelty shocked both Hollywood and the public, unveiling a terrifying aspect of a seemingly flawless star. Although she passed away at 73 from cancer, having purportedly abstained from alcohol and embraced devoutness in her final years, the specter of her violent behavior and addiction forever casts a dark shadow over her legacy. It serves as a painful reminder of the hidden tragedies lurking behind the brilliance of fame. Are you shocked to know about this dark side of her? Comment yes or no, and share your thoughts in detail about this tragic story. Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor, the undisputed queen of Hollywood, captivated audiences not only with her dazzling beauty and acting prowess, but also with her tempestuous personal life, particularly her fervent and frequently alcohol-fueled relationship with Richard Burton. Both stars indulged heavily in drink, a combination that ignited fierce arguments and scandalous public incidents. One of the most infamous occurrences involved Elizabeth Taylor hurling a glass of liquor at Richard Burton's face at the Dorchester Hotel, an image that epitomized the chaos and drama of their bond. Taylor's intoxicated moments often coincided with erratic and uncontrollable conduct, causing considerable trouble for herself and those around her. Despite being one of Hollywood's wealthiest and most influential women, Elizabeth Taylor could not escape the spiral of addiction, demonstrating that neither wealth nor fame can insulate one from personal tragedies. Andre the Giant. Consider the immense wrestler and actor Andre the Giant, whose towering physical presence was matched only by his formidable capacity for drink. His extraordinary consumption, reportedly exceeding 100 beers each evening, including one instance of consuming 119 beers within a mere 6 hours, was more than a mere indulgence. For Andre, alcohol served as a desperate solace from the ceaseless physical agony inflicted by his immense physique. His gigantism, while bringing him global recognition, also condemned him to constant discomfort. He sought a fleeting reprieve through excessive alcohol, a habit that, combined with his inherent health challenges, tragically culminated in his passing at 46 from heart failure. Mickey Rourke. The captivating tale of Mickey Rourke chronicles a descent from a dazzling, promising performer into a tragic state, largely fueled by his excessive alcohol consumption and detrimental life choices. His battle with drink began a cycle of reckless behaviors, marked by altercations, fractured personal connections, and repeated legal encounters, rendering him an undesirable prospect for film roles. Even as he ventured into the world of boxing, a path that left his face permanently scarred, his reliance on alcohol deepened. Rourke found himself in a state of destitution, seemingly forgotten by the Hollywood machine. He once confessed the profound anguish of having drank himself into ruin, a poignant reflection on the despair and havoc alcohol wrought upon his life. Yet his narrative isn't solely one of sorrow. He staged a remarkable resurgence with the critically acclaimed film The Wrestler, a role that eerily mirrored his own turbulent existence. Though his struggle with alcohol continues, his determined pursuit of sobriety offers a faint but powerful glimmer of hope for a star who faced monumental challenges. Albert Finney. Albert Finney, a gifted and versatile British actor, enjoyed a brilliant career adorned with many memorable roles. However, he also contended with a drinking habit, particularly involving beer and whiskey. While his consumption did not completely devastate his life to the extent seen in some other stars, his drinking habits were nonetheless a significant part of his private life. Finney maintained this pattern for many years until a severe health crisis compelled him to alter his ways. In 1984, he received a diagnosis of kidney cancer, a grave illness that served as a profound wake-up call. Following this diagnosis, Albert Finney made the crucial decision to significantly reduce his alcohol intake, recognizing the imperative to safeguard his health. He lived for many more years and continued to contribute to the arts, yet his life also illustrates how alcohol can impact one's health, and how at times only major events can prompt individuals to acknowledge and change deeply ingrained habits. Albert Finney passed away at 82 from this disease, leaving behind a revered cinematic legacy. Bela Lugosi. Bela Lugosi, the legendary actor eternally associated with his classic portrayal of Dracula, suffered from persistent chronic pain from the early stages of his life and career. To cope with this ceaseless physical discomfort, he succumbed to a severe dependency on morphine and alcohol. This reliance on substances not only ravaged his health, but also gravely dismantled his once brilliant acting career. Lugosi progressively lost significant roles, became ostracized by the film industry, and descended into destitution. His life represents a classic tragedy of a talent consumed by illness and addiction. He made multiple attempts to achieve sobriety but was unsuccessful, and his final years were marked by poverty, solitude, and obscurity. Bela Lugosi passed away at 73 from a heart attack, a sorrowful conclusion for an actor who was once a cinematic icon. Richard Burton. Richard Burton, an actor of extraordinary screen talent, was famously dubbed a functional alcoholic, possessing the peculiar capacity to drink heavily, yet still perform with relative normalcy on set. Some days he would reportedly consume 3 bottles of vodka before noon, and still manage to film as if completely unaffected. His tumultuous relationship with Elizabeth Taylor, another Hollywood luminary, was believed to have fueled the fire of their respective addictions, fostering a shared, destructive spiral. By the 1970s, the detrimental effects of alcohol became unmistakably visible on Burton's physique and voice. His voice grew hoarse, his appearance faded, and his body rapidly deteriorated. He was often observed stumbling out of bars and was even ejected from theaters for causing disturbances. On one occasion, he candidly declared, "I've been drunk for years. I am a happy alcoholic." That statement, laden with both irony and tragedy, painted the portrait of a brilliant individual consumed by the darkness of alcohol. Ultimately, he passed away at 58 from complete liver destruction, a tragic culmination to a life both brilliant and deeply submerged in drink. Leonard Nimoy. Leonard Nimoy once embodied cold logic, with his iconic pointed ears as Mr. Spock. Yet beneath the bright lights of the Enterprise was an individual slowly succumbing to a personal darkness. As Star Trek transformed him into a global sensation, the intense pressure to uphold a perfect public image drove Nimoy to drink. He consumed alcohol both before and after filming, and even in solitude, using it to fill a void that fame could not. "I drank because I wanted to survive, but I ended up destroying myself," he once admitted. But unlike many other Hollywood tragedies, Nimoy made a conscious choice towards sobriety. In the late 1980s, he permanently gave up alcohol, embarking on a new chapter of writing, photography, directing, and the mending of family relationships. He lived a full life into his 83rd year, leaving behind a legacy that extended far beyond the silver screen. Leonard Nimoy is not merely the world's most famous alien. He is a living testament that even amidst profound darkness, individuals possess the power to choose light and undergo a profound rebirth. Rita Hayworth. Rita Hayworth, Hollywood's captivating love goddess, was an emblem of beauty and talent. Yet her life was marred by profound tragedies, ravaged by alcohol dependency, intense stress, and a series of failed marriages. The relentless pressures of fame and an unhappy personal life propelled her into the grip of excessive drinking. Alcohol severely impaired Hayworth's professional capacity. She frequently forgot her lines on set and was absent from work, creating considerable difficulties for producers. For many years, her alcohol addiction was misattributed to other health problems, partly due to the limited understanding of alcohol's full impact at that time. Later, she received a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease, a neurodegenerative condition that cruelly stripped her of her memory and cognitive abilities. Her alcohol abuse undoubtedly exacerbated her condition, plunging her into a life of confusion and disorientation. Rita Hayworth passed away at 68, a tragic end for a star who once symbolized grace and allure, leaving behind a heartbreaking narrative of the devastation wrought by illness and addiction. Glenn Ford. Glenn Ford, a film star recognized for his robust screen presence and versatile acting, wrestled with severe alcohol dependency. This problem escalated as his personal relationships faltered, prompting him to seek solace in alcohol as an escape from his pain and solitude. Ford engaged in heavy daily drinking, a habit that gravely impacted both his health and his professional trajectory. Alcohol progressively ravaged his body, weakening him over time. Glenn Ford's later years were characterized by significant physical decline, a direct consequence of a life steeped in drink. His narrative stands as a testament to how silently and persistently alcohol can erode one's health, illustrating that even when an individual manages to survive decades of abuse, the ultimate cost is often a body worn down and a life filled with reflections on what might have been different. Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando, celebrated as one of cinema history's most influential and exceptional actors, Renowned for his innovative acting methodology and unparalleled talent, was also characterized by unpredictable behavior and a severe alcohol dependency. This addiction generated numerous complications on film sets. Alcohol significantly undermined his professionalism, leading to costly delays and substantial budget overruns during the production of many films. A notable illustration is Mutiny on the Bounty, where Brando's drinking habits and challenging demeanor created considerable disarray, prolonging filming and dramatically escalating expenses. His alcohol dependency also negatively impacted his rapport with directors and colleagues, rendering him a difficult collaborator. Although his genius was undeniable, his personal issues cast a profound shadow over Brando's career. He stands as a testament to how even extraordinary talents are not immune to the ravages of alcohol, and the high price paid for a lack of self-control can extend far beyond the individual, affecting the very projects they are involved in. Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher, globally recognized for her portrayal of Princess Leia in Star Wars, grappled with a persistent struggle against alcohol and illicit substances from a very tender age. She resorted to these substances as a means of contending with the immense pressures of celebrity and the bipolar disorder with which she was diagnosed. Fisher's life unfolded as an arduous journey, marked by alternating periods of recovery and relapse, as she diligently endeavored to manage both her addiction and her mental well-being. She underwent multiple rehabilitation treatments and openly shared her personal struggles, evolving into a significant advocate for mental health and substance abuse awareness. Despite considerable efforts, chemical substances were still detected in her system after her passing at 60 from a heart attack. Carrie Fisher's death represented a profound loss, leaving behind a legacy of sorrow for millions of admirers and serving as a poignant reminder of the intricate complexities of addiction and mental health challenges, even for revered public figures. Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper, the quintessential rebel star of Hollywood, was known for his intense personality, pioneering roles, and an equally wild personal life. For many years, Hopper was deeply mired in alcohol and drug use, behavior that led to his blacklisting in Hollywood, nearly extinguishing his promising acting career. He even resorted to living in the desert, where he experienced terrifying hallucinations induced by alcohol. His life was a succession of reckless, destructive, and chaotic actions, mirroring a complete loss of control under the influence of addiction. Yet, unlike many other sorrowful tales, Dennis Hopper achieved something miraculous. In 1986, he successfully quit drinking and embarked on an impressively robust journey of recovery. His triumphant return to Hollywood stood as a testament to his unyielding willpower and profound capacity to conquer adversity. Hopper not only reestablished his standing in the entertainment industry, but also became a potent symbol of rebirth, demonstrating that even the most seemingly unruly individuals can find their way back to a brighter path. Judy Garland. Judy Garland, the legendary star of The Wizard of Oz, endured a tumultuous and heart-wrenching life, plagued by substance abuse and prescription drug dependency from a remarkably young age. The unforgiving nature of the entertainment industry propelled her into a vicious cycle of sleeping pills, tranquilizers, and stimulants, necessary to maintain energy and facilitate sleep, leaving her no apparent escape. Garland's life was dominated by erratic conduct, a direct consequence of her substance use, and she frequently had to cancel performances due to her inability to perform while intoxicated. On one occasion, she was discovered in a London hotel, drunk and disoriented, a heartbreaking image of a great talent's decline. These issues severely compromised her career and mental well-being, leading to a constant battle with depression and anxiety. Judy Garland's life serves as a tragic admonition about the relentless pressures celebrities confront and the devastating toll they pay when they turn to substances for relief, ultimately culminating in her sad demise at 47. Oliver Reed. Oliver Reed, the formidable and rebellious British actor, was renowned not only for his powerful performances, but also for his incredible drinking exploits, to the extent that he was said to outdrink the bar. The most astonishing story involving Reed recounts his victory in a drinking contest against naval soldiers, during which he reportedly consumed over 100 pints of beer, an inconceivable feat for most individuals. This staggering act underscored his terrifying level of dependency and exceptional tolerance for alcohol. Reed led an untamed and uninhibited life, frequently sparking public disturbances due to his inebriation. However, the dire consequences of this lifestyle manifested abruptly and tragically. While filming Gladiator, he succumbed to a heart attack in a pub, a death widely believed to be directly linked to his excessive drinking. His demise occurred mid-production, compelling the film crew to employ computer-generated imagery to complete his remaining scenes, creating a haunting and symbolic conclusion to a life defined by addiction. Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage, celebrated as one of his generation's most distinctive and gifted cinematic talents, has earned the moniker Hollywood's modern wildcard. This reputation stems not only from his unconventional role selections, but also from his unpredictable conduct and widely publicized incidents of intoxication. His frequent arrests for public drunkenness exposed a troubling facet of his private life. Furthermore, Cage gained notoriety for reportedly blowing $150 million on questionable choices linked to alcohol and an unrestrained, extravagant lifestyle. Poor financial decisions, ill-fated investments, and legal complications plunged him into severe financial distress, compelling him to accept numerous roles primarily to settle his debts. His narrative serves as a powerful reminder that even extraordinary ability can be squandered under the influence of alcohol and flawed judgment. Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn, Hollywood's original swashbuckler, led a life teeming with adventure and opulence. Yet he was also labeled a reckless alcoholic, with profoundly self-destructive habits. His days often commenced with champagne, quickly progressing to potent spirits. So intense was his intoxication that during the filming of The Adventures of Robin Hood, stunt doubles were increasingly necessary to replace him. In They Died with Their Boots On, his inability to maintain balance led to a fall from his horse. Flynn utilized alcohol as a form of self-medication, a desperate attempt to evade psychological torment he could not confront. His unrestrained lifestyle also entangled him in legal difficulties, including a statutory rape charge in 1942, though he was subsequently acquitted. His grand residence on Mulholland Drive became so infamous for its wild revelries that it acquired the grim moniker Cirrhosis by the Sea. His notorious declaration, "I like old whiskey and young women," succinctly encapsulated his hedonistic existence. Flynn's life ended tragically at 50 due to a heart attack, with an autopsy revealing his internal organs were completely devastated by years of excessive alcohol consumption. Peter O'Toole. Peter O'Toole, a luminary of both theater and cinema, was celebrated not only for his extraordinary acting prowess, but also for his reputation as a man rarely sober. His prodigious alcohol consumption was such that he sometimes had no recollection of filming entire movies. The accounts of his drinking habits are unsettling. He would consume multiple bottles of whiskey every night. His speech would become slurred, he'd forget his lines, and he would even doze off directly on set. He candidly admitted, "I don't remember making some of the films I did," a terrifying acknowledgement of alcohol's profound impact on his memory and professional life. Medical professionals discovered that alcohol had severely damaged his stomach lining, leading to internal hemorrhaging, and explicitly warned him to cease drinking if he wished to survive. Countless anecdotes attest to Peter O'Toole's legendary drinking habit, including infamous escapades with Richard Harris, such as getting notoriously intoxicated across London pubs, being discovered unconscious in Roman fountains, or even riding camels through Dublin streets after a night of heavy drinking. John Belushi. John Belushi, a comedian and singer of explosive energy and an unmistakable performance style, also immersed himself in a relentless party lifestyle, characterized by heavy substance use and alcohol abuse. He plunged into continuous revelry, seeking both stimulation and an escape from the immense pressures of fame. This lifestyle ultimately led to a tragic and sudden conclusion. John Belushi died at the age of 33 in March 1982 at the Chateau Marmont Hotel, with the cause attributed to a fatal mix of illicit substances, often referred to in media reports as a high-risk stimulant-depressant combination. His untimely death sent shockwaves through Hollywood and the public, becoming one of the most significant tragedies in the entertainment industry of that era. This demise not only cut short a talent at its zenith, but also served as a chilling admonition about the grave dangers of substance dependency. For his friends and colleagues, notably Robin Williams, Belushi's death became a watershed moment, prompting Williams to seek sobriety, though he too would later confront similar battles. John Barrymore. John Barrymore, considered one of the preeminent actors of his era, earned the unsettling distinction of being called the first great alcoholic of Hollywood. His profound reliance on alcohol deeply marred both his personal life and his illustrious career. While on stage, he frequently required prompts for his lines, a fact so pervasive that his plea, "Line please," became a notorious anecdote, highlighting his dependence even during pivotal moments. Yet the most disturbing element wasn't his impaired performances, but a grotesque event that unfolded after his passing. His intimate acquaintances, in a shockingly disrespectful and bizarre prank, reportedly absconded with his corpse from the morgue to party with it in a private residence. This incident scandalized the public, revealing a chillingly dark underbelly of the entertainment world, where reverence and depravity starkly converged. From the zenith of his fame to personal collapse and a morbidly humorous end, John Barrymore's life presents a grim contemplation on the ultimate price exacted by renown. Michael Landon. The beloved figure of Michael Landon, revered for his depictions of wholesome paternal roles in shows such as Little House on the Prairie, meticulously cultivated an image of the perfect family man. However, behind the camera, his personal existence was shadowed by self-destructive tendencies. In reality, he frequently combined alcohol with pain-relieving medications, starting his days with whiskey in his morning coffee and vodka mixed into soda. Compounding these habits, he was also a heavy smoker, reportedly consuming up to 4 packs daily. These toxic practices collectively and significantly contributed to the aggressive pancreatic cancer that tragically claimed his life at the age of 50. His passing stunned the public, standing in stark contrast to the robust and virtuous persona he projected on television. Are you curious to know the next shocking and never-before-revealed celebrity tragedies? Press 1 if you are ready to stay with us. Robert Downey Jr. Reflect on Robert Downey Jr., now a leading light in contemporary cinema, whose public journey through substance dependence served as a stark lesson on the perils of addiction within the entertainment world. His professional trajectory was repeatedly disrupted by arrests, with illegal items and controlled substances discovered in his vehicle. Downey Jr. faced dismissals from numerous projects, most notably his removal from the television series Ally McBeal due to his erratic behavior and inability to maintain sobriety. He once made a chilling confession about his dire state, suggesting it felt like holding a gun to my mouth. This unsettling admission laid bare the depth of his despair and personal turmoil. Following a prolonged period immersed in addiction and legal battles, Robert Downey Jr. embarked on an arduous yet ultimately triumphant path to recovery. His career underwent a spectacular revitalization, propelling him to become one of Hollywood's highest-paid actors, particularly through his iconic portrayal of Iron Man. Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins, widely regarded as one of the preeminent actors of all time, possesses extraordinary acting abilities, but he also confronted an intense internal struggle with alcohol dependency during his 20s and 30s. He once admitted to harboring a death wish due to alcohol, a profound sense of despair and self-destruction that his drinking fostered. Addiction gravely threatened to dismantle both his career and his life, propelling him into dark and hazardous moments. However, in 1975, Anthony Hopkins made a life-altering choice. He completely ceased drinking and has maintained a life of sobriety ever since. His successful path to recovery has made him a powerful source of inspiration for countless others contending with addiction. Now in his 80s and still actively performing, Anthony Hopkins not only sustains a brilliant career but stands as a symbol of resilience and determination, demonstrating that profound change is achievable and a life without alcohol can remain vibrant and deeply meaningful. Mary Astor. Mary Astor, a talented and beautiful actress from Hollywood's golden age, endured an arduous battle with alcohol dependency. This deep personal pain originated from the intense stresses of celebrity life, a series of failed marriages, and the immense pressures inherent in her career. Her private life became the epicenter of a major scandal when her former husband exploited her personal diary in a custody dispute, seeking to prove her unfit as a mother. The revelations within the diary exposed her alcohol-fueled existence and chaotic relationships, igniting a scandal that reverberated through Hollywood. However, in the aftermath of these tumultuous events, Mary Astor made a courageous decision. She successfully ceased drinking and fundamentally transformed her life. Instead of continuing to immerse herself in the alluring world of cinema, she redirected her focus to writing, discovering a new passion and a pathway to healing. Mary Astor's story stands as a powerful testament to the force of willpower and resilience, demonstrating that even when life presents the most formidable challenges, there exists hope to rebuild and find profound meaning. Cary Grant. Cary Grant, one of Hollywood's most charming and elegant luminaries, possessing a flawless demeanor and gentlemanly grace, discreetly contended with a personal struggle against alcohol dependency for numerous years. While he never publicly acknowledged it, those in his inner circle were aware of his battle with drink. Surprisingly, Cary Grant turned to a rather unconventional method to overcome his addiction: LSD therapy in the 1950s. This was a controversial approach at the time, yet Grant famously asserted that it changed his life, aiding him in confronting deep-seated psychological issues and thereby breaking free from alcohol's grasp. Thanks to his resolute determination and this unique treatment, he effectively managed his addiction into old age, enjoying his final years in relative tranquility and sobriety. Cary Grant passed away at 82, a remarkably long lifespan in an industry often marred by premature tragedies. Enjoying this video? Like and subscribe for more. Not feeling it? A like would still be appreciated, and your comments will help me do better next time. Spencer Tracy. Spencer Tracy, revered as one of the most gifted and respected film actors of all time, engaged in a persistent and private struggle with alcohol dependency. Although he made efforts to conceal this issue, his addiction nonetheless manifested in public incidents, sometimes finding him unconscious in hotel lobbies, exposing a vulnerable aspect rarely witnessed by the public. Fortunately, Spencer Tracy had Katharine Hepburn, his resilient life partner and colleague, who consistently stood by him, offering immense support in his fight against alcohol. She committed herself to protecting and assisting him, becoming an unwavering pillar in his turbulent existence. However, alcohol still inflicted clear and devastating marks on Tracy's physique and mind. It significantly altered his appearance, causing him to age rapidly, and also created tension within his family relationships. Spencer Tracy's narrative does not conclude with a direct alcohol-related death, yet it powerfully illustrates the enduring nature of addiction and the crucial importance of support from loved ones on the journey to recovery. These once iconic faces now serve as haunting reminders of how fame, pressure, and perfection can collide with irreversible consequences. Some stars embraced their choices while others openly regretted them. But one truth remains: beauty fades, but the scars, emotional and physical, can last forever. Which transformation shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more jaw-dropping Hollywood stories, don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell so you never miss a reveal. Your favorite star might be next.